Hey everyone, you are listening to The Ben Keech Show, where every day the objective is simple. Ben will never stop fighting the fight and lighting the light on topics that affect you every day.
Well, hello, all you conversationalists, people driving in their cars, doing all the fun things in life. My name is Ben, and you are tuned in today to The Ben Keech Show, and I am honored to have you as a part of it. I'm glad you're here. I hope there's something from this episode that resonates with you. And I want to tell you the topic before I get into a couple of housekeeping items. The topic today is parenting teenagers. And I'm going to try to take a little different approach. Talked a lot about parenting in other episodes. Maybe what you should do is get your favorite 3 episodes, send them to another parent. I really do put a lot of thought, energy, my experience, obviously being a parent, having coached kids for 30 plus years. There's information in there that I think would make for good discussions in many homes. And so do me a favor, send these episodes to parents. Hey, check this guy out. What do you think? Where is he off? Follow me on Instagram. Let me know what you think about that. I'm going to have a lot of new social media goals coming up here in the next couple months. I'll tell you more about some big announcements next episode. But for today, let's live in the now. We are on episode 86. The t-shirts that I create, show you today, We Deserve to Dream. It's a song by Xavier Rudd. Amazing song, amazing lyrics. Check it out. The video is really cool too. I know MTV doesn't exist anymore, but you can go on YouTube. It's a super cool video as well. So We Deserve to Dream, one of my life songs, one of my favorite songs, and I get to wear it on a t-shirt and walk around public and do my thing. So I'm glad you're here. Let's get started into a conversation about parenting teenagers. So I'm going to start with kind of a basic overview of the general thing. When I think of when do people become adults? Let's just start with that. You're like, 18, or your brain doesn't start, stops developing, 23, 24, 25. We have all of these ages, right? Well, I'm going to give you an age. My age is going to be 14. So I'm going to say 14 because 14, you're an 8th grader and you're going into 9th grade. 14, not necessarily, but you've either started puberty, could be done with puberty, or it's just around the corner, as the little videos that we used to show the children would talk about. 14. I want you to think about your teenager, your 14-year-old teenager, as an adult from now on. We're gonna flip this script. Stop thinking 18. Stop thinking when they move out of the house. What we have to do is we have to start having some real conversations with our teenagers. Now, the conversations don't center around taking away all their fun or having them work 30 hours a week at 14. But you have to have what I'm going to call a responsibility plan for your 14-year-old. And here's what you want. You want your 14-year-old to be a 34-year-old with a 4-year-old child and teaching, raising, molding them in all of the ways better than even you raised them in the first place. And so we're gonna switch this and say, as a 14-year-old, you're an adult now. Your body has been changing or is changing. You're looking and sounding more like an adult. Now, we know they're still immature. We know they're still children. We know they're still fun. That's actually kind of the good thing about that. Sometimes that youthful exuberance, there's probably a few 64-year-olds that could use a little bit of that every now and then. I am not talking about taking the sponge of life and just draining every single little part of their joy away. Sometimes adults get so bent on, I just want them to have good experiences and I want them to like me and I just want all these. Stop it. Responsibility. We're going to talk like an adult. We're going to teach like an adult, but we're doing this at age appropriate levels, 14, 15. It changes. So let's first start talking about a 14-year-old. Does a 14-year-old get to tell their boss when they tell them to do something? No, I'm not doing that. What's going to happen? You're fired. So when you ask your 14-year-old, hey, I would love for you to by the end of the day today. See, that's a little gracious part. That's a gift a parent can give a child, a timeline, because it gives them some sovereignty over their life. So what we're wanting to really do is we're wanting to increase responsibility, but we're wanting to do it in a way that gives them choice. It's a delicate balance, but it's an important balance. If you as the parent want to be the enforcer and the controller and the dominator of everything, you're not going to have a very fun next 4 years. You can have an amazing 4 years, the more choice, just like we want as adults, right? All of what I'm saying is modeling what we do when we send a kid off to college. It's giving them options and choices. I actually disagree with curfews. I want to dismantle as much structure as we can and have a lot of open, honest conversations instead. A curfew is an arbitrary number that literally means nothing and doesn't give freedom to the young adult on how they want to live their life. So let's play this self out. We got a 14-year-old. 14-year-old says, Mom, can I go to a friend's house tonight? Sure. When do you think would be a good time? What are you guys going to be doing? Oh, we're playing video games or hanging out. Cool. When do you think would be a good time to come home? It's a Friday night, let's say. He's like, well, never, or like whatever. Well, I want you to make the decision. I'm going to let you make the decision. I'm not going to even argue. Let's say this is the first time ever. I'm not even going to argue with you on your decision. You make the decision. That's fine. I just whatever decision you make, I want you to have a justification. I want you to check in with me at some point during the night, and whatever time you say, you can't be late. You have to stick with that. Okay? Like, okay. We don't have to have a reminder, like, you're not out there burning down buildings. You're not out there, like, there's understood, you're not robbing old ladies. Like, there's no illegal stuff going on right now. Like, okay, well, what happens in the countenance of a teenager when they're given the responsibility to make a responsible decision versus being told by the parent what the responsible decision is? It's a whole different frame of mind. But you have to go with this because you may not like their answer. I don't know what their answer is going to be. Whatever comes out of their mouth, the answer doesn't matter. What matters is they stick with their time of what they said. They check in with you at some point during the night, and they're honest about what's going on at that house. Now, you may have concerns. What if there's drinking? What if there's partying? What if there's whatever? So, yeah, you're 14 years old, so do you think it's probably good for there to be a parent at this house? Well, yeah, there's going to be a parent at this house. There is. Oh, good. This is David, right? Yeah, I'm going to David's house. So guess what? I didn't say they had to be a parent at the house. I said, do you think it's a good idea if there is? Now, they come back and they say, well, yeah, yes, David's mom and dad are going to be there. Oh, that's cool. What's their names again? Now, you can have a choice. Like, yeah, I may want to, I don't know if I want to chat. I trust you. I believe you. Music to a teenager's ears. And in your parenting mind, you're like, they're lying. They're doing all these bad things. So this is where, as a parent, you have to play the game. You have to choose to trust. You have to continue to empower your teenage boy or girl to make their decisions, but then hold them accountable for the decisions that they make, versus being the moral authority on all decisions that are made. That's because your morality, mom and dad, actually may not be right. You may think they're out there drinking. You may think that they're doing bad things. What if they're not? What if actually what they're doing is they're actually doing what they said? Now, let's say that a kid brings vodka. Let's say the alcohol shows up at a party, and let's just say it's a 15 or 16-year-old, but whatever. What if your kid told you, yeah, there were a couple of kids that brought some drinks? I was like, I don't want anything to do with that. Do you understand the power of having these open and honest conversations about expectation? This isn't the alcohol conversation. The alcohol conversation can happen at different times. We're not trying to lecture them on the 50 possible things that can go wrong at this time. The idea is we want young people to be empowered adults to make decisions that serve their interest. That's what we want. And we want them to be honest. Like, I would rather my kid make a whole host of mistakes than be a liar to me. I was like, well, yeah, I know. I don't want my kids to lie either, but, I've caught them in so many lies. I can't trust them. It's like, okay, well, then you need to back up. You need to back up, slow your roll down, and let's have a different conversation with Junior. Hey, I know, so this is like, let's say a Saturday afternoon at 2:00. Nothing's going on. Hey, let's go grab some lunch. I want to talk to you about something. Like, I know you've made some mistakes. I know I've made some mistakes parenting. I would like to have a restart with you. And they're like, well, what a restart was that? No, here's what I mean by a restart. What I would like to do with you is I would like to say that I'm learning as a parent. You're going to have good days and bad days as a young person. I want you to be the type of adult and you're already an adult in my mind because you're over 14 years old. I want you to be the type of adult that when words come out of your mouth, people believe them. It's not even just about me. I'm going to die. You're going to have 30 years on this planet without me, possibly. I'm talking about your kids. I'm talking about your grandkids. I'm talking about your wife. I'm talking about your neighbors, your coworkers. I want when you talk, people believe it. And you know what? It's hard to tell the truth, the honest truth, the bare bones truth. We lie to ourselves and we lie to other people far more than we realize it. And so can we agree that from me to you, and I'm going to live by the exact same standard from you to me, we always tell each other the truth, no matter what, no matter how painful, no matter how scary, no matter what. And you know what? I'm going to do a good job at the best. I'm going to really try hard as your dad to not overreact to the truth. I may overreact or have a strong reaction, I should say, if you tell me a lie. And let's just start there. And the other thing I want to do as your dad is I want you to make as many decisions for your life as possible. If you decide it's unnecessary one day to go to your class because you need to do A, B, and C, and we can have a conversation, I'm going to listen to you. I don't want to be a knee-jerk. I'm not going to base what's right or wrong of what society says. I'm going to base right or wrong on the conversations we have as adults about what's best for your life. And I'm going to do a lot more asking questions than making statements. Tell me why you think this is a good idea. What's your rationale for doing this? This is not a trick question. I want to hear what you think. I want to understand where you're coming from. I may say, I personally don't know if I agree with that, but I'm going to let you make this decision now. Is that okay? And can we have a conversation afterwards if it all worked out like you think? And it's not to make me right or wrong or you right or wrong. In life, we have to constantly evaluate our decisions. This is a mind shift change from how I have seen for 30 plus years teenagers raised. Teenagers are raised and by parents who are oftentimes, not all the times, oftentimes afraid, worried about how their kid's going to turn out. They look at how their teenager turns out as a reflection of them. There's truth and not truth about that. They're also their own person. They're going to do their own things, even sometimes with the best advice. We have to empower. Teenagers want to be treated like adults. Now, are they, in some definitions, full-fledged adults yet? No, probably not. But you know what? We keep bumping up that age and we keep making excuses for people of when people's brain starts developing and all these things. Guys, stop with the excuses. Make decisions. Parents, ask questions, help them think through what they're doing, allow them to succeed and fail, be there right there with them, loving them every step of the way, and create a culture of honesty, true honesty, where we're not even like holding back pieces of the story. We are transparent in our lives. And what happens when we're transparent is we become vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable and it's safe, we grow connection. And that connection will last a lifetime. You won't have to wonder if your teenager is going to disown you in a couple of years. Because when you practice honesty and vulnerability and it's safe and it's not judgmental and you learn and you succeed and you fail, but your family and your teenagers are not teenagers, your teenagers are adults. And your job as a parent is to create an environment and a place for them to grow, for them to flourish, for them to learn, for them to do all of these things. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to become parents better than you were a parent, which is all we as parents can ask for. But this kind of mentality, unfortunately, is not happening enough, and it's not happening because of fear. Don't parent afraid. Parent with your time, parent with love, parent with creativity, with conversation, with honesty, a little bit of experimentation, even in a sense of like, oh, I don't know if this is a smart decision, but it's okay. Tell them this. Have these conversations. Kids just want to be treated like adults. They wanted to be talked to like people, even though don't hold it against, oh, you want to be treated like an adult, yet they're going to still do things that 14-year-olds do. I'm not naive to that point. But we need more 18-year-olds. 18-year-olds could be doing far more than they're actually doing, I think, if they're empowered to make decisions at a young age. Folks, that's the episode today. Again, this was 86. I want you to have your teenagers follow me on Instagram. Let's have more and more conversations about how what I'm saying works and doesn't work. Because sometimes there might be little ways, and we can talk about this, how maybe if we tweak this or adjust this, the point is you can love and enjoy your time raising teenagers. Because honestly, they need that love, they need that guidance, they need that attention, but they need it coming from a reasonable minded person and not someone in panic mode, not someone in fear mode. It goes a long way. Thank you so much for listening. I really do want the best for you and your teenagers. I hope your teenagers listen to this. I want to know what they think as well. You want to know what they think as well. So maybe listen to this on the next car ride to basketball practice, see what happens. Thank you so much. I look forward to next time. It's a big episode next time. We're super excited with some big time announcements to tell you about. That will come later. Until then, have an amazing day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. You can reach out on Ben's website, www.benkeechshow.com, or on social media to chat. And please remember to subscribe so that you never miss an episode.